Today I will bring you the story of Chen Xuefeng's entrepreneurial journey and the development of Aihui Shou. Aihui is one of the leading second-hand electronic products recycling and trading platforms in China, focusing on recycling old smartphones, laptops, tablets, and other electronic products in a professional and standardized way. In this interview, we will discuss four main topics: how Chen Xuefeng found business opportunities, the challenges he faced in the early stage of entrepreneurship, how its leadership style has changed with the development of the company, and his advice to future entrepreneurs. We will also discuss entrepreneurial concepts such as opportunity identification, resilience, value creation, leadership evaluation, and entrepreneurial thinking based on his entrepreneurial experience. What makes you realize that the second-hand electronic product recycling industry has huge business opportunities in China?
A decade ago, China's smartphone and electronic products market were developing rapidly, but the recycling industry are still very traditional and inefficient. Many consumers do not know how to sell old equipment and worried about unfair prices and privacy risk issues. We've seen the obvious gap in the market. At the same time, environmental sustainability is more and more important. So we believe that creating a standardized recycling platform has a great value in commercial and social.
I think your idea is very meaningful because your business is not only about earning money, it also helps reduce electronic waste and protects the environment. At that time, not many companies paid attention to recycling in this way. I felt that you noticed this opportunity earlier than many others. That shows good business awareness. Your company solves problems for customers, but it also brings value to society. I also think many people at that time probably did not realize the recycling old phones could become such a larger industry in the future. Your company seems to have understood both the market opportunity and the environmental value very early.
This is very interesting. So, do you think this business opportunity mainly comes from the pain points of customers?
Yes, it's true. Many consumers are frustrated because of lack of transparency and they do not know the market. Many people would buy old mobile phone in a very low price because the other party do not know the market value. Others actually worried about personal data would remain in the device. This problem has created a huge upset market in demand.
I think customer trust was probably one of the biggest reasons why your company could grow successfully. Many people were worried about unfair prices or privacy problems, when selling old phones. Your company made the process look more professional and reliable. I also think it's interesting that this idea came from real customer problems in daily life, not just from following a business trend. That makes the business feel more practical and realistic. I feel that customers are usually safer using a service. Building a trust in a new industry probably is not easy at the beginning.
In addition to business opportunities, do environmental factors also affect your decision?
Yes, with the growth of electronic products consumption, electronic waste has also become a serious problem. We believe that recycling equipment can not only create commercial value but also bring environmental benefit. We believe that sustainable development and profitability can be combined.
Nowadays, many customers care more about environmental issues, so combining sustainability with business development sounds like a smart long-term direction. Recycling electronic products not only helps customers clear unused devices, but also reduce waste. I think your company shows that businesses can create social value while still being profitable. And I want to ask you what is one of the biggest challenges you face in the early stage of creating a low backhand?
One of the main challenges is to build customer trust. At first, many people do not trust the online platform because they are worried of the price transparency and the data security or the privacy risks. We have invested a lot of time and a lot of the money to improve our testing system, pricing, standardization, and our customer service. We know that this is a very difficult process, but we realize the trust that in the cornerstone of this platform business will bring greater value in our company.
I can understand why trust is so important in this business because customers are giving away devices that contain personal information. Many startups only focus on expanding quickly, but your company seems to care more about reputation and customer confidence first. I think that's very important. Technology alone is not enough. Good service and communication also matter a lot. And why do you think trust is so important in this industry?
Because consumers need to hand over their personal device containing their information, their data, their contact numbers, and their financial data and other personal information. If the customer do not trust the platform, they will not use it. We realize building credibility is even more important than rapid expansion.
I think many young entrepreneurs can learn from this experience. A lot of people focus too much on growing fast, but they forget to build a stable foundation first. From your story, it seems that long-term success depends more on customer trust and reputation. Your company developed step by step, And I think that patience really helped the business become more stable. How does your team cope with these challenges?
We attach great importance to standardization. We have improved the taxi system, trained our employees seriously, and established a clearer pricing process. We have also improved customer support and communication so that the customer can better understand how the platform works, how our business works, and to trust within us.
It sounds like your company paid a lot of attention to transparency and communication. Customers probably felt more comfortable because they could clearly understand the pricing process and the service steps. I also think this shows how important organization and standardization are in business. A good idea is important, but building a reliable system matters too. Your company seems very customer focused. Have you ever been uncertain about the future of the company?
Of course, every startup company will experience uncertainty. In the early stages, we face financial pressure and operational difficulty. However, we firmly believe in the long-term value of the enterprise. We continue to improve steadily.
I think your story really shows the importance of persistence. Many companies probably go through difficult periods before becoming successful. Even when your company faces pressure and uncertainty, you've continued improving the business instead of giving up. I feel this is very realistic part of entrepreneurship because starting a business is rarely easy. Many people only see successful companies after they become famous, but they usually do not see the stressful periods behind the scenes. Your experience makes entrepreneurship sounds much more real and relatable. And how has your relationship style changed from a startup company to a larger company?
In the early stage, due to the small size and high flexibility of the company, we participate in all decision making. However, a development of the company, I realize, is more important to build a strong team. Empowering managers to do everything by yourself is not a good thing. I gradually shift my focus from daily operation to a long-term strategy with our team together to create our company culture and strong partnership.
I think leadership changes a lot when a company becomes bigger. In beginning, founders usually need to handle almost everything themselves, but later they need to focus more on strategy and managing people. Your experience also shows how important it is to trust employees and managers. One person cannot make every decision forever. especially when the company keep growing. I also think many entrepreneurs may find it difficult to let go of control at first. So learning how to delegate is probably an important part of becoming a stronger leader. Why do you think is the most important quality of a leader in the process of enterprise expansion?
I think communication and trust are very important. In a growing company, need strong teamwork and clear organization culture. Every employee need to understand the company goals, values, so that everyone can move forward in the same direction.
I think company culture becomes more important when the organization grows larger. With more employees and departments, clear communication helps everyone understand the company's goals. I also feel leadership is not only about making decisions, it's also about helping employees work together and moving in the same direction. How does the partnership promote the development of Show?
Cooperative relationship is also very important because entrepreneurship is not carried out in isolation. We cooperate with our supplier, technical partners, logistics suppliers, and investors. We build a strong ecosystem to help us to expand more efficiently and to build our culture strongly.
Your experience really shows that entrepreneurship is not something people do completely alone. Partnerships and networking seem very important for business growth. Building relationships with investors, suppliers, and technology partners probably help your company develop much faster. I think cooperation between different companies can create many opportunities. Looking back on your entrepreneurial journey, what advice would you give to college students who want to start a business?
I think the most important thing is to focus on solving practical problems instead of blindly chasing the trend. Entrepreneurs need patience, adaptability, and the willingness to keep learning from failure. It is still not enough to have a good idea. Execution, teamwork, and continuous improvement are the keys to long-term success.
I think this advice is very practical for university students because many young people care too much about having creative ideas, but they forgot how important execution is. Your experience shows that success usually takes time. People need patience, continuous learning, and hard work. I also think flexibility is very important because businesses always face change. Sometimes people imagine entrepreneurship as something exciting all the time, but in reality, it also requires discipline, responsibility, and problem-solving skills every day. And why do you think many young entrepreneurs pay too much attention to trends?
Because the trends looks exciting and attractive in the short term, however, enterprises are built by the trend may be difficult to survive in the long term run. Sustainable enterprise can only solve the problem when the customer are really concerned about.
I agree with your point because trends can change very quickly, but customer needs usually stay for a much longer time. Your company becomes successful because it focuses on solving real problems that many people experience in daily life. I think businesses is truly understand customers are more likely to survive in competitive markets. How important is failure in starting a business?
Failure is a part of the learning process. Entrepreneur will face setback and uncertainty. The key is whether you can learn, adapt, improve after difficulties and failures. Our team work together to face the problem and we learn all together.
I think many students are afraid of failure because they even start trying. So your opinion is very encouraging. Your experience shows that setbacks are normal part of entrepreneurship. I also feel that mistakes can help people become more experienced and adaptable over time. Sometimes failure can teach more than success. I think this mindset is especially important for young people because many students worry too much about making mistakes and losing confidence. Your story shows that learning from difficulties is part of personal growth. What role does teamwork play in the success of entrepreneurship?
Teamwork is crucial. Entrepreneurship is rarely a personal achievement. A strong team can bring different kind of skill set, perspective, and experience. Without teamwork, short term, long term will be very difficult.
I completely agree that teamwork is extremely important in modern business. Companies today are becoming more complex, so people with different skills need to work together. Your explanation also shows that entrepreneurship is not only about personal ambition. Communication, cooperation, and shared responsibility are also necessary for long-term development. What's your final suggestion for those students who are interested in entrepreneurship?
I encourage students to be curious, keep learning, give an open mindset. A starting business is a very long journey which requires perseverance, continuous self-improvement.
Thank you very much for sharing your experience with us. I think many students can learn a lot from your journey, especially about resilience, leadership, and innovation. Your story shows that entrepreneurship is not only about business success, it can also create a positive social impact and solve meaningful problems in society. I believe your experience will inspire many young people who want to start business in the future.
When you first started at Huishu, how did you actually find this business idea? What made you think this is something I really want to do?
I noticed the problem around 2011 and everyone started changing old phones to a smartphone. Everybody used their old phones and left the old phones at home. They do not know what to do with it. They don't sell it. They don't trust anybody. Nobody is asking for it. And they also worry their personal data on their contact phone is being leaked or lost. At that time, the recycling market was really disorganized. No standard, no transparency, no trust. So I just thought, if this is a real problem, it needs a real solution. I do not have any fancy big plan at first. I talked to people in the street, we tested small things and realized people just want convenience, clear pricing, and safety. That's when I knew an idea could be and can be a real business. This is not just making money. This is just to solve the millions have these problems.
I think this is a very good example of how entrepreneurs discover opportunities from daily life. Your business idea did not come from copying trends. Instead, it came from noticing real problems that many people faced. I think this also shows the importance of observing customers carefully and understanding what people actually need.
In the early days, what was the hardest or most stressful moment for you? How did you keep going when things weren't going well?
The hardest time is probably around 2013 to 2014. We are trying to grow, but many investors do not understand our model. They thought opening physical store is too heavy, too expensive. They thought it was like a typical internet business. We even had some funding deals fall through the last minute. Cash was tight, the team was a lot of pressure, a lot of the night were burned. To be honest, I feel stressed too. But I kept telling myself and to the team, we are solving a real problem. We cannot give up. So we focused on improving our services, making the price fairer, letting the user to trust more. Slowly, but things got better. That period taught me resilience isn't about being fearless. It's about keep going even when you are worried.
That period sounds very stressful, especially because of the financial pressure and uncertainty. I think many entrepreneurs probably experience similar situations when starting businesses. What I find the most impressive is that you and your team continued believing in the business even during difficult times. Your story shows that confidence and persistence are very important for entrepreneurs. I also think strong teamwork probably helped everyone continue moving forward together instead of giving up when things become difficult.
Partnership and networking were really important for your growth. Can you talk about how you build those relationships and how they help your business?
Networking and partnership really help us to grow, especially JD. In the beginning, I was just building relationship naturally with friends, former workmates, the people I trust. Later on, when we work with JD, it brings us a lot of user, brand trust, support in our trading business. Investors also help us a lot, not just money, but advice and connection. We never thought of using people. I just stay honest, focus on what we can achieve together, and keep our promises. When the partner sees that you are reliable and your business help to build real people, they want to support you. Those relationships did not happen overnight. They grew slowly, based on trust.
I think your experience highlights how important honesty and trust are when building partnerships. Strong business relationships usually take time to develop. They are not only about short-term benefits. It also seems that working with larger companies helped improve your company's reputation and a lot more customers to trust your platform.
Looking back, what personal qualities or ways of thinking help you the most to keep the business growing for many years?
As for me, 3 things matter the most. First, being patient. The industry is not about getting fast. You don't get handouts from anybody. You have to build trust step by step, year by year. Second, caring about our team, our user, our customer. If people don't trust you, you can't survive. So fair pricing, better data security, and good services is always our priority. Thirdly, being able to change, we start only online, then added offline store, and keep improving our system. We can't just stick one way forever. The market is changing, we need to change. So I think being persistent and stay calm during the difficult times help us a lot. This mindset let us grow from a small team to a listed company and still keep the business healthy and sustainable.
I think patience and adaptability are probably two of the most important qualities of entrepreneurs. Your company did not grow overnight. Instead, it improved step by step and kept adjusting to market changes. I also think your focus on users helped the company build strong customer trust over the years. Many companies try to expand too quickly, but your business seems to have focused more on building a stable foundation first. That probably helped the company develop more sustainability.
If you could go back to the day you started this business, knowing what you know now, what's the first thing you would change or do differently?
Looking back, the first thing I would do differently is to slow down and build a financial buffer before chasing the growth. At the time, I was excited to scale. And every dollar I pour back to the business with no safety net. When the slow season hit, we almost couldn't cover rent and payroll, which forced me to make a rash decision which cost us more in the long run. To set aside, even for a small reserve, I could have navigated through a period calmly instead of scrambling.
I think this is a very useful lesson for many startup companies because some businesses focus too much on rapid expansion without preparing for financial risks. Your experience shows the financial planning is very important. Sometimes growing more slowly but staying stable can actually be a better strategy in the long run.
Based on the challenges and lessons you've learned, what's one piece of practical advice you wished you'd received before you started your business?
The advice I wish I've gotten is to get a team to help yourself. Early on, I have to do everything: sales, marketing, admin, operation. We have to do everything fast. I need to do everything fast. End up, I burn out myself, and the important details start to slip. From that, I learned that letting go of tasks to my manager is a good thing. Letting the control to my team is also a good thing. So I can focus on important stuff like our company values, our company directions, and to build the company better and greater.
I think many entrepreneurs can relate to this problem because founders often feel they need to control everything themselves in the early stage. But your experience shows that good leadership is also about trusting other people and building a strong team. Delegating work does not mean losing control. Instead, it allows leaders to focus on more important long-term goals.
In summary, the entrepreneurial journey of Chen Xuefeng and An Huishou has provided many valuable insights for entrepreneurship in the real world. Through this interview, we can see how entrepreneurs identify opportunities, solve customer problems, overcome uncertainty, build trust, adjust leadership style, and formulate long-term business strategies. We can also connect their experiences with some important entrepreneurial concepts, such as opportunity identification, value creation, relations, lean entrepreneurship, leadership evaluation, and entrepreneurial ecosystem. Most importantly, Huishou provides with proofs with practical actions that entrepreneurship not only creates profits but also creates social and environmental value. Thank you for listening.